PNR Networks is a member of Patreon. Show your love for our shows by joining our ongoing fundraising campaign and get some fantastic perks in return. Check it out and become a Patreon sponsor. You can sign up at patreon.com, patreon.com/PNR Networks. And thanks for your support.
This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
It's Kim versus TC in the battle of the lists.
My list is better.
My list is better.
My list is better.
No, it's not. My list is better.
Kim or TC, who has the better list? From Subject Cinema, this is Front Row 5 and 10 with Kim Brown and TC Kirkham.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week here at Front Row 5 and 10, brought to you by the people that bring you Subject Cinema. That would be him and me, the me being Kim Brown.
Who are you? You have a new voice. And I'm TC Kirkham, the other part of Front Row 5 and 10. Appreciate everybody.
My old voice back.
Yeah, that's true. And mine's going away, which is weird because I am almost over my cold. It's kind of strange, but I got a bunch of other stuff going on. We apologize for being a day late this week. I had a medical procedure done yesterday, and we got all behind, so we did not get the show done. But we're just a day late. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit late in the evening, too, but... hey, the Great American Baking Show is on Thursdays. We can't help it. We've got to watch these things. They are priorities. No, I'm just kidding. We do enjoy that, but Kim was late getting home, so we just kind of got everything ready. And it's an easy list to do. Because we missed our holiday show because of Kim being sick and then me being sick, we're going to skip that. We'll save it for next year. And instead, to kick off this year, we're giving you a sneak preview of this weekend's Subject Cinema. We're going to do our top 10 anticipated films this year.
Yes.
These are 10 of the films that we're most looking forward to seeing. Some of mine don't have release dates yet. Most
of mine don't have release dates yet. So.
I bet if you looked it up, I bet if we knew where to look it up, I bet I could find some of them.
Probably.
But in any case, these are 10 films that we're aware of that are coming out in 2017, as far as we know, that we're looking forward to seeing sometime during the year. And a lot of them are mixed up, and some of them are titles you may never have heard of, and some of them are titles, most of Kim's, I'll bet, are titles that everybody has heard of. And so we'll go from there, and go from that. And then, of course, this weekend on Subject Cinema, we will have our full 2017 preview with all kinds of titles discussing some of the trends this year looks like it's going to be having, all kinds of stuff, and that is Subject Cinema this Sunday. Right now, though, let's get started. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. My number 10 is actually already out for Oscar consideration. It is a French animated film called My Life as a Zucchini. It is a comedy drama about a 9-year-old looking for a family. After his mother's disappearance, Courgette, which is French for zucchini, is befriended by a police officer named Raymond, who accompanies him to his new foster home filled with other orphans his age. At first, he struggles to find his place in this strange and at times hostile environment, yet with Raymond's help and his newfound friends, he eventually learns to trust and might find true love. Mm-hmm. Rave reviews from the critics. It premiered at Cannes last year. It's up for a Golden Globe. It is being considered a contender for Oscar for Best Animated Feature, and will be out in theaters in February 2017. So that's why we'll be counting it in 2017, because animated films, for some reason, even if they say they're released, if they don't come out on time, and occasionally documentaries. We will bump them to the following year if they're opening in January. And that's what we're doing with this one. My number 10, My Life as a Zucchini, otherwise known as Ma Vie de Courgette in French.
My number 10 is, well, I'm going to be honest, most of my stuff are all big blockbuster movies, so it is what it is.
Some of mine are.
I am looking forward to this because I've already seen the trailer for it, and I'm excited about it. You were left, I noticed, very, meh. But my number 10 is Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
You know why I'm so meh about that film?
No.
Because the last 2 have sucked. 3 was horrible, and 4 was wretched. So, what does that say? Well, anyway.
Well, this one has Javier Bardem in it, so that's got to make it somewhat better.
It's also got Rising Star alum Brenton Thwaites in it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a great film.
But it also has something that the last one didn't have, and that's Will Turner and Elizabeth Turner back. Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom will be in this one.
Only in a cameo, right?
I don't know, actually. Along with Johnny Depp back as everybody's favorite pirate, Captain Jack Sparrow. Javier Bardem is playing a supernatural pirate named Captain Salazar. I'm looking forward to it. My number 10, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
That opens in May. So, yeah, we'll be there. I mean, Johnny Depp needs a hit really badly right now. His last, 7 films have all tanked at the box office. My number 9 is an unusual film that people are going to be like, wow, that sounds depressing. And you wouldn't be wrong. Described as simply a look at a young woman's rapid descent into insanity. It's actually a lot more than that. And I'll tell you about it in a little bit. The movie is called Brain on Fire. It opened at Toronto. And it is a true story about writer Susanna Callahan, Callahan? I don't know how to pronounce her last name, who started showing symptoms of a whole bunch of different diseases and finally ended up in a coma. And she went through specialist after specialist after specialist and finally found a doctor who was able to pinpoint what it was she really had and help nurse her back to health. They didn't think she would ever come back to health. Mm-hmm. This movie, and she got better with the grace of her boss and her doctor and the young man she loves, and it's a true story, a very uplifting story, and I can't wait to see it. Starring Chloe Grace Moritz, Richard Armitage, and Thomas Mann. Mm-hmm. Brain on Fire, definitely a big pick for me, and it comes out, I believe, in March or April, and I'll be there. We'll probably have to Kindle or Coolidge it, but, I'll be there.
Number 9 on my list is a film that we've already seen trailers for. I am really excited for, and TC is completely yeah.
Let me guess. Starts with a G, ends with a G, and has Volume 2 at the end of it.
Yes. My number 9 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, I, unlike TC, really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought it was a lot of fun. This story picks up a little bit after Guardians left off, obviously, because Groot is no longer a little sapling. He's a little baby Groot now. He's just so adorable. I am really, really excited for this movie.
I'm really, really scared when you get that excited over a CGI character.
But he's so cute.
But he's not real. I knew I would get that look. Okay, anyway. He is cute. I'm not saying he's not cute. But there's something that just gets annoying about a character whose only ability to speak consists of 3 words. I am Groot.
Well,
everything is I am Groot. Even Olaf had a less limited vocabulary. And he's annoying, too.
All right. Everybody's back for this one from the original film.
Ah, damn.
And we get some new characters added in as well, including the Marvel character Mantis, which I'm really interested to see her on the big screen. So it's another chance to see Zoe Saldana in green kicking ass, which is always an awesome thing. I can't wait. I think it's going to be super fun. My number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Have you noticed that seems to be all Zoe Saldana does on screen? Doesn't matter whether she's in her normal African-American form or whether she's wearing blue or green. She's kicking butt everywhere. What the hell is it with this?
Well, she's good at it.
She is good at it.
She looks good doing it.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. There's no accounting for taste, though. I mean, for the film.
Oh.
No, not for her. Oh, God, I love Zoe. Are you kidding? No, the film. I'm sorry. I could get behind these movies if there was no Star-Lord. Star-Lord makes me crazy.
Okay.
Not Chris Pratt. I liked him in Jurassic World, but I just don't like that character. My number 8 film is a film that is the only film on this list that I do not have a solid date for, or at least a somewhat solid date, but it was shot in 2015, and it still has not yet been released because it's been going through the editing process and around the very busy career of the original male rising star on this show, Michael Angarano. Michael wrote it, directed it, produced it, stars in it. It's called Avenues, and is a comedy drama about a 20-something who is at a crossroads in life with his work, his love, and everything else. Co-starring is Bud Nicholas Braun, who was in Red State with him, and John Robinson, who he was in Lords of Dogtown with, and Adelaide Clemens is the female lead, and I don't know her, and also Brian Garrity. Michael's been busy this year. He was doing the end of the Nick, and then he's now doing a new show that's coming up on Showtime or HBO. I forget one about stand-up comics, and he's kind of taking his time doing this because he's already shown off some directing skills as a second unit director on a couple of his other films, so he definitely knows what he's doing. And you know me, Michael makes questionable choices sometimes, Gentlemen Broncos, but I love the guy, and I will watch him in practically everything. So I have been waiting for this, and this was on my same basic list last year, if I remember right. Writer, director, producer, music by Michael Cera, by the way. That I thought was interesting. Avenues. I'm hoping it still hasn't made a festival run either, which is odd. Hoping maybe, because I know he's partial to it, maybe Santa Barbara when they announce in about a week. Or maybe one of the spring festivals. South by Southwest, Boston Independent, you never know. Anyway.
Number 8 for me is a live-action version of an animated classic. My number 8 film that I'm looking forward to in 2017 is Beauty and the Beast. I really loved the Disney version of this, which is weird because I usually don't like Disney versions of fairy tales because they Disney them up.
I've never seen Beauty and the Beast, so I'll be going in on a clean slate on this, and I definitely am looking forward to it too.
Yeah, Emma Watson as Belle, and having part of the voice cast including Ian McKellen. It just looks amazing. The trailers have had me almost in tears because it's just so beautiful. And it's, the classic story of Beauty and the Beast and true love and all that good stuff like that. I think it looks amazing, and I cannot wait. My number 8, Beauty and the Beast.
My number 7 is a film that we're both looking forward to. We both already know we're going to need buckets of tissues for this film. The one thing I don't understand is that it was scheduled for release in October of 2016. It was on the schedule for October for nearly 8 months, and then less than a week before it was due out, it was pushed to December. And then a week before it was due out in December, because I assumed they were positioning it for Oscar contention, they pushed it to February 2017. Now, I don't know what that says. Either the film, suddenly there's nobody at the studio pushing the film as a possible awards thing, or it's a real clunker. And after the trailers, I can't believe the space between us is a real clunker.
No, I can't either.
With Asa Butterfield and Britt Robertson and Gary Oldman heading up an all-star cast about a teenager who was born on Mars after his astronaut mother found out she was pregnant after going on a Mars mission. She died in childbirth and has been raised by the other scientists on Mars, and now they're trying to realize he needs to go home. He has connected home on the internet, and made friends with this girl played by Britt Robertson. The trailers had us bawling. So we know we're going into this with at least a 3 or 4 hanky quotient.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see it. And I like Asa every time I see him. He gets better and better. And Britt has been one of our favorites for about... When did Cherry come out? 2012? Mm-hmm. Or 2010? It might have been 2010.
I don't think it's that far back.
I don't know. It's one of those 2 years. She's been a favorite since Cherry, and unfortunately she's ended up in some either Real Dogs, Tomorrowland, or movies that don't really do much, and that's too bad because she's a fantastic actress. The Space Between Us, number 7, it is out in early February.
Okay. Number 7 for me is... it's going to be really interesting. This is the 3rd actor to have played this part in since they've brought him to the big screen. My number 7 film is Spider-Man: Homecoming. Tom
so
Holland.
You're
what?
so amusing.
Oh. Tom Holland has taken over the role as the wall crawler. And it's going to be interesting to see him carry a solo film. I mean, we get to see Peter Parker as a student. This is not an origin story. Peter has been Spider-Man for a little while when this story is going on. I mean, we do know that Robert Downey Jr. does appear as Tony Stark, and we know that it's going to be really interesting to see Michael Keaton as the Spider-Man villain, the Vulture. That's really interesting to me. So my number 7 is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I'm really ambivalent. The trailer left me completely flat. I like Tom Holland, but I liked Andrew Garfield, and I loved Tobey Maguire. So I don't know. I just think they're overdoing Spider-Man. Give it a rest for 10 years and then bring it back like they did with Batman. It might work better instead of trying to reboot it every 3 years. My number 6 is another film we've seen the trailer for a while, and I've been looking forward to it since the very first feature I saw on it on TV. They did a feature on it. I don't know if it was Extra or it was one of the entertainment magazine shows, and they had it on right around the time Paper Towns came out because Cara Delevingne is one of the stars of it. Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. This science fiction. I honestly don't know how to describe it.
Opus,
yeah. It's based on I believe on a graphic novel.
It's a French comic.
Yeah. Okay, French comic. It is being directed by Luc Besson, who did Lucy, which we kind of liked even though it was kind of out there, and a few other things. I love his action stuff. And this is... I mean, Cara Delevingne and Dane DeHaan is a good guy. Oh, my God. There's a surprise right there. Plus Ethan Hawke, John Goodman, Rutger Hauer, Clive Owen, Rihanna, and the list goes on and on. I'm just praying it doesn't turn out to be another... what was the name of the thing from the Wachowskis?
Jupiter Ascending.
I hope it's not another Jupiter Ascending. I
think the studio is probably hoping it's not another John Carter.
Because John Carter was a good film, and I only know one other person that actually liked Jupiter Ascending. So I think I love Dane DeHaan, who plays the title character, and he's been good. And I mean, he does play good guy roles occasionally. He was kind of a good guy in that Metallica thing he did a couple years ago, and in that other one of the 2 comedies that came out about dead girlfriends. One of them was him, one of them was Anton Yelchin, and I'm like, okay, this actually looks really good, and the look of it looks good too.
It does.
The 3D
looks
amazing. If it's that good when it shows up, it's going to be great. Number 6, Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Okay. My number 6 is actually a step away from, explosions and superheroes and all that kind of stuff. I'm really interested to see how Murder on the Orient Express is going to play out.
Yeah, I'm curious about this too. I'll qualify that. I did not like the 1974 film with Albert Finney as Hercule Poirot. So my mom didn't care for it either, and she's a consummate Poirot fan, but she also didn't like David Suchet and that's insane.
Your mom's wrong.
Yeah, she is wrong. So he was
directed
awesome.
by Kenneth Branagh and featuring Kenneth Branagh as Hercule Poirot.
Which is going to really weird casting.
This is going to be really interesting. The classic whodunit by Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express, has been filmed several times.
Yep.
It's a great book with an ending that literally makes you go, what the what?
Yeah, that was part of the reason I didn't like the original film, because I had never read the book. So
Yeah.
Mom had. I hadn't.
I really am intrigued by what's going to come out with this. I haven't seen any stills or trailers or anything
No,
yet,
the trailers
so.
probably won't hit later because it's scheduled for December, so hopefully...
Yeah, so my number 6, Murder on the Orient Express.
I got to admit, Kenneth Branagh as Poirot is striking me as a little too weird. And that's weird because I enjoyed Peter Ustinov, who was completely not right for the part.
Right.
But I enjoyed the way he played it. But it's going to be hard because I so love David Suchet that I don't know if it's going to be easy
Well, I love David
to see
Suchet
anybody
too,
else in
but,
that
you
role. My number 5 is a film that I've been talking about for just about a year. It made its world premiere at the 2016 Sundance Film Festival. And I have been high on this film because not only did the trailer intrigue the hell out of me, it stars 2 of our Rising Star alumni and a third who has been on our Rising Star alumni radar for a couple of years now. The movie is As You Are. It's set in 1992, right after the release of Nirvana's Nevermind. It's a drama about a trio of friends who end up involved with something that they end up having different points of view. It's a very Rashomon type story, starring Owen Campbell, best known for his role on The Americans now as Jack, Amandla Stenberg, who I have not seen since she played Rue in The Hunger Games, both of them former Rising Star alumni, and British actor Charlie Heaton, who's one of the stars of the hottest show on television right now, Netflix's Stranger Things, and plus Scott Cohen, who has always been good, and Mary Stuart Masterson as the parents involved with this. It won both young men, Charlie and Owen, a breakout notice by Variety at Sundance last year. The director received a special award. Miles, I want to say his name right because it's Miles Joris I can never say his last name. I'm so sorry, sir. Miles Joris Peyrefitte. He's 24. This is his first ever directorial attempt. And the word of mouth has been incredible. It took them finally until 2 weeks ago to finally land a distributor. It hits theaters on February 24th, and we're bated breath waiting because I am such a huge Owen Campbell fan from his year when we first put him on the Rising Stars list from Conviction. And since then, he's done a lot of great stuff on television, including Boardwalk Empire and The Americans, and he's just terrific. And Amandla is growing up into a beautiful woman. Yes. Charlie, I'm not that familiar with because I haven't watched Stranger Things, but I know Eric loves that show, Eric Lyon, and he's probably great on there. So, As You Are, my number 5, most looking forward to this year.
Okay, number 5 is another one of these trailers that left us very divided. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this movie to come out. And you were like, big deal. My number 5 is Kong Skull Island.
No, I don't agree with that. I'm not saying big deal as in big deal. I'm just looking at it and saying it doesn't seem to really portray in the trailer what it should if the movie is supposed to match with Godzilla down the road, because it's from the same producers and it will match up with Godzilla in 2020.
It is set in the same universe as Godzilla.
And Godzilla was
the
awesome.
Legendary pictures.
We're talking about the 2015 Godzilla. Or 14.
It's set in that universe. It is also set in the 70s when a group of military people and non-military people go to this island.
Those are called civilians,
civilians and military people combine to work together they go to this island because they've heard these rumors about something odd about this island, and they find out that the island is full of dangers, and one of those dangers happens to be a very, very, very large ape known as Kong.
Yeah, Kong is being portrayed in this film as larger than we've ever seen him before.
Yes.
Because they are matching it up to the Godzilla movies.
Yeah, we know that in a few years, we know that there's going to be another Godzilla movie, and then they're going to do Godzilla versus Kong. And so Godzilla, because of Godzilla's height, Kong would have to be much larger than he's normally portrayed. Otherwise, that would be the shortest fight since Bambi meets Godzilla.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you interested because it's Kong, or are you interested because Tom Hiddleston is the star?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
See, Tom, I like Tom a lot, but I haven't really seen him in any other roles that really electrify me. He was okay when I saw The Light. He was okay, and I like him a lot, but. I mean, I'm strictly admitting I'm in this movie strictly for Thomas Mann's presence, even though I know he's going to end up getting killed, probably. So,
my number 5, Kong Skull Island.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll probably do well, but it's coming out in March, which is becoming a battleground of late in the last few years, ever since Hunger Games exploded in March and 300. My number 4 is a film I'm sure is on your list yet. I might be wrong, but you did kind of admit it to me surreptitiously. It's the next film in the Justice League saga, Wonder Woman.
My number 4 film is also Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot as the Amazon princess, Chris Pine as her Mansell in distress, Steve Trevor, and Robin Wright as General Antelope, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And she's of Amazon also. With Connie Nielsen, David Twillis, Danny Houston, and a whole great bunch of people. Why are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it simply because what we have seen of Wonder Woman, which has not been enough. They only did the whole mashup movie like a year ago. I know, but she didn't have, and she wasn't in it enough for me. But she wasn't. She was a nice tease, though. It was especially there where she came and jumped in front of the boys with her shield. Yeah. Is she with you? Oh, I thought she was with you. No, I'll take her. Thank you. Yeah, I don't blame you. Gal Gadot is smoking friggin' hot. That was great casting. I've never heard of her before this film, but man, that was great casting. I'm really, really interested in why they felt it necessary to change the time that this is set in. There is a reason, and director Patty Jenkins has said there is a reason that they shifted it from World War II to World War I. But she's not saying why she wants it to come out in the film. Mm-hmm. So, but there is a specific reason why they did it. Yeah. And it ties into the rest of the Justice League as well as the history of the Amazon. So, yeah, so it's going to be really, really interesting. Yeah. So my number 4. And my number 4. Wonder Woman. With Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. Yep. Number 3 is the only documentary on my list. It's not the only documentary that I want to see this year. But this has been high on my list since it made an appearance after we left the Salem Film Festival last year, which was one of the premiere films. And ever since then, I have been trying to get a screener for this film. And us, Kim and I, we are suckers for animal documentaries. Yep. And Kedi is the ultimate animal documentary. It follows the cats of the Turkish capital. Which is Istanbul. Mm. The cats of Istanbul are legendary. They are. Somebody said in preparation for this, there is a cat in Istanbul for every 7 people, a wild feral stray cat. Mm-hmm. That is a lot of cats. That is a lot of cats. And the thing is, the locals accept them as part of their culture. Mm-hmm. Kedi follows 7 cats in particular and what they do and how they interact with the people that they interact with. I saw a clip of this film. The trailer finally hit about 2 weeks ago, and I just was like, oh, I can't wait to see it. And I still can't wait. It opens in limited release on January 20th and will expand throughout February from Oscilloscope Pictures. And I am being told already by people in the industry, people are already calling this the front runner for next year's Oscar documentary. Wow. This is how good this film is. I cannot wait to see Kedi. It opens in 2 weeks,
and I will be there with bells on.
Okay. Number 3 on my list is another foray into the superhero genre, which should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody. My number 3 is Thor Ragnarok.
Thor isn't on my list, but not because I'm not looking forward to it. It's too far down the road for me. Most of mine are from the first part of the year. I mean, there's some good ones coming out later in the year, and that's one of them, but I tried to stick with, like, the first half, as far as I know.
I'm not really sure what the plot is yet, other than the fact that we know that...
We saw part of the plot in that little clip from Avengers Age of Ultron, which made no sense at all.
What?
The little clip where Thor went into the pool and had that dream again.
Yeah,
that's
right.
That's the Ragnarok key.
Oh, okay. Well, the one thing we do know is that Chris Hemsworth is back as Thor, and that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be involved as Dr. Stephen Strange.
Oh, I expected you to do the whole cat thing. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Double with a cherry on top. I'm sorry, a movie with Chris Hemsworth and Benedict Cumberbatch and a whole bunch of capes. No, I'm so looking forward to this movie.
Yep.
My number 3, Thor Ragnarok.
Well, I wonder why they pushed it so far back.
I don't know.
I mean, it was always scheduled for that late, but we've gone almost a year already without a Marvel Cinematic Universe direct connection. And while we're going to have Guardians at the beginning of May, we still haven't figured out where they're going to fit into the next Avengers cycle.
No, but there is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, but it's technically only fringy on the universe because it's Sony. They've lent Spider-Man to Marvel, back to Marvel, but I'm still not sure if that counts as an official cinematic universe film, or if that's like the Never Say Never Again of the Marvel
Since Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark is in
I know, but still,
Homecoming,
Sony's not part of Marvel, so I'm not sure.
Right.
Anyway, and speaking of Marvel, let's talk about DC. Number 2, Justice League.
My number 2, Justice League.
Without a question, this movie is already the players at the playlist are sharpening their knives. Every other day, we're hearing that this isn't happening. We're hearing that this isn't a good thing. We're hearing that they're going to bump this back. It's February, and the damn movie doesn't come out till November. I'm tired of the playlist always strangling DC films. And I'm going to call them out from now on by name every freaking time they do it. It's just not... I don't understand what it is with the writers over there that they have a problem with DC before they even get there. And I don't even think it's DC. I think it's Zack Snyder, period. Everything he's involved with.
I don't know.
Okay. They actually did have a good notice about the special effects wizards who are working on Aquaman. Who are apparently, I forgot what movie they did, but they were like, oh, wow, that's awesome. Maybe it's a step in the right direction. Are you people on set every day? Are you people looking at the script every day? Are you people talking to the actors every day? No? Then shut the fork up, will you please? I'm so tired of this. It is not going to be a bad movie. It's Ezra Miller as the Flash. It is not going to be a bad movie. And Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I don't really care about Superman, Batman, or the Cyborg. I really don't. I'm in this for...
Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
And I really don't care about Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I'm into this movie for Gal Gadot and Ezra Miller and J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon, and that's it. If they do well, hey, I'm cool, especially if Ezra does well. Even Gal could fall flat on her face. I don't care.
She's not going to fall flat on her face.
No, but I'm saying Ezra. It's always with me, Ezra. Ezra's like in my top 5 actors of all time.
I know.
I love the guy.
I know.
And I will be there for him.
I'm really interested to see how they're going to bring Superman back since he died at the end of Batman versus Superman.
He's probably just in suspended animation.
As I've mentioned, I am very interested in seeing Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Who doesn't have a very big part in this film, by the way.
No, but he is in it.
Yeah, he is in it.
And he won't be the only
but
one.
But it's somewhat akin to a Marvel, credit sequence.
And I'll guarantee you something, he won't be the only one getting wet.
Family show, darling.
I know.
Nah.
But as you say, I'm so amusing. So my number 2 and your number 2 is Justice League.
Yeah.
So, that brings us to number 1.
Yeah, it does.
And
so
my
what do you
turn?
think my number 1 is?
What do I think your number 1 is? I don't know.
Oh, Kim, you're tearing me apart!
Okay. Well, you're assuming it's actually going to come out. I'm beginning to think this thing is like Bigfoot. Everybody keeps talking about it, but
no,
nobody's
it's done.
actually
It's
seen
shot.
it.
It's finished. It finished shooting in March of last year.
All right.
It's James Franco's The Masterpiece, the movie about the making of the cult classic The Room, written by and starring Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
With
The Room, which if you have never seen it,
please watch it at least once. And the Riff Tracks Live was a riot, and you should try to find that if you can find it.
To call The Room a bad movie is an understatement along the lines of water is wet.
No, it's not the future.
King Kong is hairy, and I am.
It's not Miranda July,
and I am oversexed. It's like
The Room is a cult film written by Tommy Wiseau that is this amalgam pistache of really bad acting, bad writing, bad camera techniques,
storm of
bad techniques, and everything else. And everybody fell in love with it when it came out as a cult hit. And it really took off in the late 2000s after it came out in 2003 or 4. And then around 2008, it suddenly found this cult film status and exploded. I personally would rather watch The Room than some of the stuff over Red Zone Cuba or any of the Coleman Francis trilogy or any of that stuff. I'd love to sit through The Room again because The Room is so bad, it's hysterical. Coleman Francis is just so bad, it's awful. So I take that. With James Franco as Tommy Wiseau, Dave Franco, younger brother, as his best friend in real life, Greg Sestero, who plays
Mark.
Mark. Hi, Mark. In the movie, and also featuring Bryan Cranston as Bryan Cranston, Malcolm of the Middle Days, according to the story that came out last week. He's playing himself when he was on Malcolm in the Middle. I don't know what that means, but we'll see. Zoe Deutsch, Alison Brie, Zac Efron, Seth Rogen, Josh Hutcherson as Philip Haldeman. Philip played Denny. This is going to be hilarious. Sharon Stone is Iris Burton, who was Greg's agent, and a whole bunch of other really great people. Jackie Weaver as Claudette. Mm-hmm. She played wait a minute. I can't remember her real name. That's terrible. Ari Grainer is Juliette Daniel, who played Lisa, and Jackie Weaver is Carolyn Minot, who played Claudette. And Jackie Weaver is... I've seen stills of Jackie Weaver. It's scary how much she looks like the woman. It's terrifying. This does not have a date yet. Franco keeps being coy about this. It's been finished since March. His friends have told people it's done. It's edited. It's ready to go. As late as last August, it was ready to go. Didn't hit any of the film festivals at the end of 2016. Everybody, and I mean everybody, IndieWire, Playlist, everybody was saying it's got to be a Sundance film. No Sundance. Didn't show up at Palm Springs. Isn't scheduled for Slamdance. I doubt he would go to Santa Barbara. My gut feeling on this is it will premiere at one of the so-called subversive festivals. South by Southwest is a distinct possibility. They did announce today, though, that their opening film will be Terrence Malick's new film. But I think South by Southwest is a good possibility. But because of the cult around it and where it is filmed and where the cult started, I'm betting it'll premiere at the Los Angeles Film Festival in June. And then it should hit theaters by the end of the summer. But I got to say, I would have been attracted to this anyway, but with the added power of Josh Hutcherson as Philip Haldeman, who I think is perfect casting for that role, and Jackie Weaver, and Ari Grainer, and even Tommy and Greg are in the film. Tommy is playing a character called Henry, and he's also got a scene as himself, which is really weird. And Greg is a casting agent. It's going to be interesting to see what they finally pull together. If you've never read Greg's book, The Disaster Artist, oh my God, it is a freaking riot. You should find it. Some of the stories he tells about Tommy are frightening, and other ones, like that whole bit The whole bit on the rooftop, the CGI rooftop that wasn't necessary, where he comes out of the door and throws the water bottle and starts ranting about, oh, Lisa said I hit her, I never hit her, blah, blah, blah. Oh, hi, Mark. 32 takes. Oh, my God. Seriously? You got to read Greg's book, and you got to see the masterpiece whenever Franco gets around to releasing it.
Okay.
My number one most anticipated film of the year.
Okay. My number one most anticipated film of 2017. Do I really need to say it? I mean, really?
Let me guess. Alvin and the Chipmunks 4.
No.
The Room Part 2?
No.
Birdemic 3?
No.
Oh, it must be Star Wars Episode 8.
That would be it. I cannot wait for Star Wars Episode 8.
Is there a title for Episode 8?
No,
they haven't titled it yet. No,
not yet. I thought for the Force Awakens was great.
I liked it. I had my problems with it, though. I thought Rogue One was a much better film.
Oh, I think Rogue One is a different film, and it's awesome in its
It
own
is.
right.
Rogue One is just the best Star Wars film ever made. I loved Rogue One.
I am really interested to see what they're going to do now that they've, killed off a major character in the last film, and and dealing with the fallout and the aftermath of that.
And now they have to deal with the fallout and the aftermath of the real passing of Carrie Fisher.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting to see, because she had I guess they were saying a couple weeks ago after she passed that she had a huge part in the upcoming episode 9, and now they're kind of scrambling to try and figure out what to do.
Yeah. So
I can't see them recasting.
No, I can't either. They'll just have to do something. I'm sincerely hoping it's not like an off-screen death, because I really feel like her character deserves better than that.
Let's say up front, not even saying how I think number 8 is going to be a good film, just from what I've heard about it. But number 9, also being directed by Rian Johnson, and Rian Johnson is one of the most competent young directors I've ever seen. This is the man who fashioned the masterpiece that is Brick. Anthony Lamberti, he loves the Brothers Bloom. The man is a genius when it comes to this stuff, and I can't wait to see his spin on Star Wars. And he's doing number 9 too, so they'll figure a creative way out of it.
Yeah, I know they will, but I'm really looking forward to what happens next. So my number one most anticipated film of 2017, Star Wars Episode 8.
Okay, before we get to the reroute of the top 10 real quick, I just want to throw in an aside for another movie I found out about really quick and did not have a chance to put it on here, but it comes out in February, and it sounds hilarious to me. It's a movie called The All-Nighter and stars Emile Hirsch and J.K. Simmons, and there was a write-up on it on IndieWire, and I'm like, oh my God, this sounds so stupid and so funny at the same time. Musician, brokenhearted by his girlfriend leaving him, is suddenly finds her dad at his door looking for her because he can't find her. So they go out together all night in Los Angeles one night trying to track her down after she doesn't answer her door at her apartment. Now, I know this sounds like a stupid premise, but it's Emile Hirsch and J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
This combination says to me it's going to be a riot. I don't know why, but I just wanted to get that in. Okay. My top 10 most anticipated films this year. Number 10, the animated film My Life is a Zucchini. Number 9, the true life drama Brain on Fire. Number 8, Michael Angarano's debut as a director, Avenue. Number 7, the science fiction Pushback, The Space Between Us. Number 6, Luc Besson's Valerian and a City of a Thousand Planets. Does that even make sense? City of a Thousand Planets?
Nope.
Number 5, the coming-of-age period piece, As You Are. Number 4, Wonder Woman. I think that's all that needs to be said. Number 3, the Istanbul Cats documentary, Ketty. Number 2, Justice League, starring Ezra Miller as Flash. And number 1, the masterpiece with James Franco as Tommy Wiseau.
Okay. And my list for films that I'm looking forward to the most in 2017... Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 8, Beauty and the Beast. Number 7, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 6, Murder on the Orient Express. Number 5, Kong Skull Island. Number 4, Wonder Woman. Number 3, Thor Ragnarok. Number 2, Justice League. And number 1, Star Wars Episode 8.
I don't want to put a disparaging light on your list because they're all great films. Mm-hmm. Do you realize your entire list is made up of sequels, superhero films, and remakes? There isn't an original idea on the entire list. That's really frightening.
Well, Kong Skull Island isn't...
It's a King Kong film.
Well,
it counts as part of the King Kong stuff. It's part of the Godzilla Kong series.
Okay.
You know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but
no, it's just...
I mean, there's at least a couple of original ideas online, I think. I don't know.
No, that's fine. No, I mean, I'm just... These are the films
I mean, they all...
you know,
well, half of yours I'm interested in. The other half...
These are films that I'm looking forward to for whatever reason.
Yeah,
and,
I agree.
Whatever way to express my like of the films.
Right.
You know.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
I know of at least 6 that I like to see on your list. What about mine?
Ketty sounds interesting, and that's not interesting for a while.
Not counting Justice League and Wonder Woman, since we did tie on those. But,
right. Mm-hmm. Ketty sounds great. I want to see the masterpiece.
Oh my God, that's scary.
In kind of a, I don't know if I can actually sit through this kind of way.
Train wreck kind of way?
Yeah. Train wreck meets plane crash meets Buffalo Stampede kind of way. What is it? Brain on Fire. Brain on Fire. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, and it's a true story too. So that's really something. And
it's also Richard Armitage. So
yeah, Chloe Moritz, possibly the greatest actress of her upcoming generation. Thomas Mann, who I adore, and Richard Armitage, all in the same film. He's the Doctor. Yeah, I cannot wait to see this film.
The Space Between Us. Yeah,
bring tissues. It's going to be a killer.
We sat like TC mentioned.
So is My Life as a Zucchini, which, despite being animated, is not necessarily a family film.
We've seen enough animated films that were not for kids.
Yeah, but this is being put out by G Kids. It's being pushed as a G Kids movie, and everybody who's looked at it that was talking about it as possible Oscar contender, and it is France's official entry too, or Belgium. I forget which country did it. Into the foreign language film thing too. It's not for kids, so I don't know. We'll see, but I want to see what it is.
And Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. The more I see of the trailer, the more I'm like, this is actually probably going to be pretty cool.
Pretty goofy.
It's either going to be really cool or it's going to suck.
You know what it reminds me of? The feel of the trailer, the feel of the script from the trailer reminds me a lot of a 1980s Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Action, comedy, goofiness, and all bundled into an attractive, good package.
To me, it has more of a feel of like a 1960s European sci-fi.
Oh, that too, a little
bit.
Like
a Barbarella kind of feel.
Or a Diabolic type of feel.
Without the camp and the sex.
Yeah. You know, well, no, this has got camp in it. You can tell from looking at it.
Well, no, but I'm saying but Barbarella was serious.
Well,
camp.
Yeah,
that was... come
but
on
Barbarella
now.
had John Philip Law, so that's
something.
I know. I've never seen it all the way through.
John Philip Law, and that was nice.
Who was reduced to space mutiny by the time of his career. So we'll be looking forward to these and keeping you up to date on when they come out and on release dates. Period for Brain on Fire Avenues and Masterpiece. Like I said, Brain on Fire I think is coming out in March, but the date has fluctuated, so I'm not sure. The rest of them we're pretty sure about. So I'm looking forward to all of these and yours too. So okay, you've had time to think. What are we doing next show?
Next show. Okay, next show. Let's see. I think next show that would be an interesting list.
Okay. Tell us.
Your top 10 female characters. Your top 10 fictional female characters, whether they're from movies, TV shows,
so all-encompassing books, fictional characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God, that's gonna leave that wide open to practically everything.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm game for that. We'll see
Okay.
what we can figure out.
All right.
Don't forget to check out Subject Cinema. This weekend, Subject Cinema, we're going to expand on this. We'll talk a little bit more about these movies and a whole bunch of other movies that are coming out, spotlighting some of the other festival films coming out. And don't forget, January 29th, our 11th annual Festival of Film Festival, complete coverage of Sundance, Slamdance, Palm Springs, Santa Barbara, Berlinale, Big Sky, and Victoria. And hopefully, if we get it in time, we might have some of the early titles for South by Southwest. I don't know for sure, but it's going to be fun. And there's a lot of good stuff coming to Sundance this year. A lot of good stuff. And that starts next week. And there's a lot of good stuff at Palm Springs this year. It's going on right now. Santa Barbara, as always, late announcing. They should have announced 2 weeks ago because it starts at the end of January, but they still haven't announced, so I don't know. And then we'll be going over some of the lesser... some of the films coming out this year that we think are absolutely going to crap out. 3 or 4
Or
of them...
films that we flat out don't care about.
4 of these crap out films are all coming out within the 6-week period between the end of January and the middle of March. And seems to be... January is the dumping ground for bad films now, and it's like... I'm sorry. Who told Lucasfilm monster trucks look like a good idea? We're gonna... I don't know. And I love him, too. He's #1 rising star in 2013. I mean, dude! Come on! I don't know. We'll see. I still haven't made up my mind about going to that because she wants to see it.
Well, she wants to look at
Lucasfilm, I know.
So, you know.
Watch MacGyver.
Don't judge her. You know, it's...
And actually, it is actually starting to get some critics calling it a guilty pleasure type film. So that's terrifying to me because they already wrote it off on last year's taxes. $160 million. Anyway, all that and more on Subject Cinema every Sunday at around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget, there's other shows out there, including Platinum Rose's Garden, Kim's Supernatural Show. Will be back in end of January when the show returns. Lots of Sam and Dean and Castiel and all those minions around to deal with.
Speaking of minions, by the way, I was actually surprised Despicable Me 3 was not on your list.
It fell off at the last minute because I remembered My Life as a Zucchini. It was number 10 at one point.
I was going to say the Minions would be very disappointed in you.
Well, I have to say I was disappointed in Minions. I like them better in the Despicable Me movies than I liked them in their own film, which is really scary. I liked it, but it wasn't nearly as good as the first. Despicable Me was just great. Despicable Me 2 was good, and Minions was good minus. So I'm hoping they're on the way back up. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't watched the trailer yet, so I don't know. You made me forget my mojo, woman. Oh, 3-Minute Weekend on Fridays and Tuesday Digidex on Tuesdays. Running down all the latest film releases. 3-Minute Weekend in theaters. Tuesday Digidex, movies hitting DVD, Blu-ray, and on-demand streaming, and now including weekly releases on Amazon and Netflix. So we hope you will continue to listen to those shows. Don't forget Cavebabble with Eric and Valerie Lyon every Monday or every Sunday or so. And they are working on new stuff as we speak. And I mentioned on Subject Cinema, but in case you didn't hear it, we had a new show we were ready to go premiere with in January called Real Rewind. Due to some stuff that's going on with medical issues and stuff with me, I'm pushing that back a little bit. And I'm actually going to probably make it a half-hour series on the weekends rather than a thrice-weekly 5-minute show. We'll see what happens, but it will be around this spring, and we hope you don't give up on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Movie historical show that I think everybody will get a kick out of. And we're still thinking about a possible video show for Kim. But we can't do that without your help and your generous support through our Patreon campaign. We're 3 months into this campaign, and we have 0 supporters. And I don't understand that. You know, we work hard at this, and we have a lot of listeners out there. We have tons of listeners out there. Our numbers show that. If each one of those listeners donated $2 a month, man, that would be an extra close to our monthly goal.
It would be great.
And that's not much to give. I mean, we have levels all the way up to $100. We got some great perks. We have a new perk debuting sometime in the near future when I get together with Eric Lyon, who's doing it for us. And please, come on. And right now we're in desperate need because after my last big pitch for this, we lost our laptop. If you noticed, when we lost the laptop, everything stopped. except the podcast, because I do some work during the day on my breaks and on my lunchtime at work, and that's when I get all caught up and everything. And without the laptop, I can't do it. And in the evening, I sometimes don't have the time to devote to it because we're watching movies for you guys so we can review them, and we're doing all this other stuff. So please Patreon us. We really, really appreciate your support. And we know you listen, and we thank you for that. And we're asking you to take that one little extra step for $2, $5, $10, $25, $50, $100 to get every perk. I mean, we got some great perks out there. You can get your name on the show on a regular basis as a Patreon supporter for a $50 donation. You can get all kinds of cool stuff. And it doesn't support just this show, just Subject Cinema. It supports the entire PNRNetworks conglomerate, if you want to call it that. Websites, podcasts, music networks, and more. And they're all coming or in development and video, and we need you to do it. Thank you to whoever has been listening to us. Our numbers have jumped way huge since we started making the show available in 2 new places in, I believe it was October, SoundCloud and YouTube. You can listen to both the shows on both of those now. YouTube, it is an audio show, so all you get is a picture of the logo. But, something's working because our numbers are jumping. And that's really something. Thank you for that. And continue to pass on the word and continue to listen. And when you subscribe to the shows, any of them, post a little note about why you listen on iTunes or on Stitcher or wherever you listen. And let people know that you like the show, because that's always good. The best possible advertising, the best possible support is word of mouth from our listeners. And we know you're out there, and we know you like it, even though you never write, you never call, you never do anything. Honestly, you can't even call your old friends TC and Kim anymore.
I'm sorry, would you like a bucket of oats now?
What?
Nag.
Oh, that's funny. I'll be here again for Subject Cinema. I'm not so sure where she's going to be. I may have a new co-host on Sunday.
Hey!
We'll see. No, I would never do that much. But it is a lot of fun to do these shows, and we hope that you will take the time to pass the word out, to join our Patreon, to generally listen. We're glad. We are glad. I can't make it clear enough. We're really, 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 really glad that you take the time out of your week to listen to the shows.
Yes, we are, definitely.
It would be nice if you could take that extra time to give us a little, to have, give us that little boost and extra, so we can replace the laptop. We can replace we desperately need a new mixing board. I had to pass up interview things this week because we don't have a new mixing board, and I can't do interviews with this because it won't let me. We need help with that, and we would really appreciate if you come on board. All right, enough whining. Next week, our top 10 female characters, fictional female characters of everything.
Everything.
Of the entire universe of literature and things.
Yes.
Okay. Oh boy, that's going to be fun. Until next time, for Front Row 5 and 10,
I'm Kim Brown.
I'm TC Kirkham.
Make sure you put us at the top of your list.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Front Row 5 and 10 with Kim Brown and TC Kirkham.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.